All right, everyone, it's Mr. Rops here, and today we're going to talk about this thing called the perpendicular bisector. And if you take a look at this sketch that I've created here, I have a line segment that has end point, and then I also have the midpoint. This is in the middle of the segment, exactly in the middle. Even if I change it, you can see that it stays in the middle. And what the perpendicular bisector is this line here. It bisects this segment at a right angle. So you can see that the line cuts the segment. And so this is the perpendicular bisector of the segment. And so what we can see, the definition of perpendicular bisector is a line that cuts a line segment at a right angle and goes through the midpoint of the line segment. Okay? So the line is the perpendicular bisector. You have to recognize that it's talking about two things, perpendicular and bisector. The perpendicular is the right angle part. The bisector is the midpoint aspect. All right, and if you want to see another picture of it, here is what a diagram of it looks like. And so if I want to mark the diagram up so that I can see what it's doing, I know these lines are equal, and I have a right angle here. And so it's so this is perpendicular, and this line bisects the segment. So this is the perpendicular bisector here. Now, an interesting side note for this is any point here, if I go to this segment, and if I go, or endpoint to this endpoint, these distances here are equal. If I choose any point here, if I go here to here, again, these are equal in length. So any point on the perpendicular bisector is equal distance to the endpoints. And that's a neat little theorem. So any point on the perpendicular bisector is equidistant to the endpoints, Okay, so there's a little bit of background for perpendicular bisector. Let's actually do a problem here. Okay, so I'm going to give the points -5, -4 is A. So -5, -4 is here, is A. And then B is 7, 2. And so I have a segment there. Let's see if I can join my segment up. Here is my segment. What I'm trying to do is find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Well, in order to find the equation, I need a slope, which is m, and I need a point, x1, y1. I do not know either of those. But what I can do, the point that I need will be the midpoint. And I'm going to guess eyeballing it's 1, -1 here. But here is the midpoint formula. So using the midpoint, here is my x1, y1, and my x2, y2. And so if I do this, x1, x2, it'll be -5 plus 7 divided by 2, comma, -4 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 2 over 2, which is 1. This is -2 over 2, which is -1 is my midpoint. So this is going to be my point that is going to be on my perpendicular bisector. It is right here. This is my midpoint. Now, if I'm going to do my sketch of my line I'm looking for, it's roughly going to be somewhere here. Let me just, and like roughly here, where it's going to be perpendicular. In order to find the slope, I could find the slope of AB. I could find the slope of AB. If I find the slope of AB, and then I can negative reciprocal it to find the perpendicular slope. So to find the slope of AB, I'm going to go the change in y, which is going to be 2 minus a -4 over 7 minus a -5. And so that gives me 2 plus 4 is 6. 7 plus 5 is 12. And so that is equal to 1/2. So this slope is 1/2, and I can confirm that. I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So my perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal, so negative reciprocal. So this is going to be up or down 2 over 1. And then you can see it's a little bit off on my sketch. But now I have my slope. My slope is equal to -2. My point is 1 comma -1. Using my equation of a line, I can plug it in. I get y minus -1 is equal to -2 x minus 1, because my slope is -2 and my y1 x1 is my point. Y plus 1 is equal to minus 2x plus 2. So y is equal to minus 2x, subtract the 1 over, and I get plus 1. So here is the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Let's see if that makes reasonable sense. So it looks approximately that I go through 1 as my y-intercept, and I go up 2 or down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And so this is y is equal to -2x plus 1 is the equation of my perpendicular bisector. So to summarize the perpendicular bisector, you find this midpoint of AB, which will be the point you'll use. You find the slope of AB, and then you negative reciprocal the slope to find your perpendicular. Good luck.